Morning show host Mika Brzezinski is not exactly happy with the DNC chair, Debbie Wasserman Schultz. Now, let's look at this clip from this morning's version of Morning Joe, and then we'll talk about it.
And Bernie needs to drop out too.
Yeah, you know what? It's good that everybody ignored him so much and thought that he was just this crazy socialist that would go away. You know, it was really smart of the Clinton campaign, actually. And
all
the
right,
DNC,
with less than 2 weeks remaining before the
trying
Iowa
to control
caucus,
the election by making less debates. Good on ya.
A new Monmouth
You screwed
University
yourself.
poll of Democrats nationwide show Bernie Sanders now trailing Hillary Clinton by 15 points. She led by 33 points a month ago.
Debbie.
But that comes as a new WMUR CNN poll out of New Hampshire shows Bernie Sanders opening up a shocking, commanding 27-point lead over Clinton. He led by 10 points in this poll back in December. Clinton led by 8 points just in June.
Thank God you controlled that debate thing, because that really helped out.
The Vermont.
Tell us how you really feel, Mika. Tell us how you really feel about Debbie Wasserman Schultz. Look, I don't know if she's a Bernie Sanders fan, but certainly she is critical of Hillary Clinton and of Debbie Wasserman Schultz, which actually kind of surprised me because, look, this is Morning Joe. This is establishment television, right? This is middle of MSNBC in the morning. Establishment TV. This is a thing that Phil Griffin of MSNBC didn't want to get rid of because it's like, well, we got to bring in the Republicans in the morning to watch Republican Morning Joe. Now here's Mika Brzezinski saying, yeah, good job hiding the debates. Nice work. Nice work, Debbie. Nice work. I love that. You notice Joe, he's just like, okay, moving on. Let's move on. Let's not talk about the establishment. Let's not talk about any of this stuff. Let's move this conversation forward and stop making fun of Debbie Wasserman Schultz. No, we're going to make fun of Debbie Wasserman Schultz. So, it's kind of amazing to see. She's calling out the DNC chair for the debate schedule. And see, here's the thing about the whole debate thing. It's not as if Hillary Clinton's a bad debater. She's actually really good. But the whole thing about this debate is that it wasn't really about her performance. It was about hiding Bernie Sanders. Because it turns out, when Bernie Sanders talks about the issues that are facing America, people like it. People identify with that. And like, oh yeah, hey, you know what? He is, we can trust him. Some of the polls put him at like a 91% favorability rating, and people say that they can actually trust him over the former Secretary of State. He's got a high favorability factor and a high trustability. Well, they want to bury that. Because the guy's genuine. He's actually talking about genuine issues. He's not a career... He's been in Congress for a long time, but he's not exactly the career insider. He's a politician, but he's a politician that's always been sitting on the outside, fighting for people. He's actually the definition of a civil servant, serving the people instead of the corporations. And of course, the DNC wants to hide that because now they are the centrist third-way Democrats. They're the corporate Democrats. So it's not about her performance. It's about burying Bernie Sanders so that nobody sees him. His biggest issue is name recognition. Once people get to know him, and we've seen this huge shift of Democrats and independents shifting towards Bernie Sanders. She doesn't like that. Debbie Wasserman Schultz does not like that, and she tried to hide him from likely voters. And those are the types of people that watch debates on prime time, but don't do it so much on the weekends. And the thing about that is that every debate the Democrats have had so far was on traditionally low viewership nights. Compare that to the Republicans that had the debate on Thursday nights, Tuesday nights, and a lot of them. And a lot of people tuned in. Now, certainly there was a majority of people who tuned in to see what kind of crazy shit Donald Trump was going to say next. But they end up driving the narrative and seeding the conversation over to their craziness, instead of having the Democrats front and center to challenge the bullshit. They put it on nights that are traditionally low viewership nights. That doesn't make any sense in the world. It doesn't make any sense in the world. And the second highest debate, the last one that we had, got about 10 million viewers. Contrast that with the 24 million viewers that the highest rated Republican debate had gotten. You can't tell me that no, we're trying to put it on the highest rated nights, according to Debbie Wasserman Schultz. That's absolute bullshit. Absolute bullshit. And look, it shouldn't be a surprise, right? Debbie Wasserman Schultz does not seem as if she would be an impartial person, right? Because she ended up serving as co-chair to Hillary Clinton's 2008 campaign. If you serve as a co-chair to a campaign, you're not exactly impartial. And she hasn't exactly been the greatest Democratic national chairperson, the committee chairperson. So, despite scheduling fewer debates and hiding them on the weekends, we've got Bernie Sanders that is now lighting a fire up under the progressive base as well as independents. This has got Hillary Clinton worried. This has got Debbie Wasserman Schultz worried. This has got the establishment worried. They do not like this. And despite older efforts to try and stop him, Bernie Sanders is surging in the first two states. He could very well win Iowa and New Hampshire, and that could get him momentum into South Carolina and get his name out there and hopefully court African American voters, as well as Latino voters, as well as women. So on the issue of Mika, going back to her, she's absolutely right. Debbie Wasserman Schultz did screw herself. Now, I'm not saying that because of this or any of this that Bernie has it in the bag, right? However, Hillary Clinton is in danger of a 2008 repeat. And just the idea that it could happen again really has the Clinton camp worried. And Debbie Wasserman Schultz, through her actions alone, might have just made a Sanders nomination that much more likely.